point now where it's going to be time to put the blade into the handle with the guard, get everything nice and tight. That's not always easy to do. I want to glue it before I pin it. And that is because if this is not tight when I drill that hole, it will never be tight. And there's little room for play, and if you last thing you want to do is hit it and hear that brass jingling around. Not only is it irritating to hear it jingling around, but if it's that loose, it isn't. This is a break point. This is the weakest point of the blade, is right in here. And if this isn't strong, the knife is worthless, unless you're just going to hang it on a wall. So I'm going to make a tool to help compress the blade into the handle. Now some people say, well, just use a clamp. Try that with a rounded curved handle. I've tried for a couple hours now, and well, not a couple hours, but I did put a lot of time into it, and I'll tell you what, impossible. So we're going to tackle that tool today. Figured it out, and we're going to make one, have it hanging up on our wall, so when we come across something like this, we can get it done. Let's do this. So we're going to start off this project. Simple piece of, what is this? 1.5 by 1.5 angle iron. 1/2 inch flat bar, 1/8 inch, yeah, 1/8 inch thick. Piece of 3/8 all thread. We're going to go with about 8 inches of that, since I got a little over 16 right here. And a couple nuts and washers and a couple welds. This thing will be rocking and rolling. 5 inches. Very close. Move in the shop. So, it's not easy, but I have a wedge and then 4 pieces of steel around my 2 1/2 inch pieces. I'm trying to bend it to make it kind of like a knife blade. We'll see how that works out. Looks like it's working. Yeah, the mild steel is actually bending around it. Doesn't have to be anything major. Just gives it a little bit of room. All right. See how we did. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's move on to drilling this out. On to the next. So now we got this kind of sitting here. This is where the knife will be. And we'll come down here on our 7-inch piece. And mark where we're going to drill. Now I'm using a 3/8 rod. So I'll step up one size drill bit, so I got a little bit of flexibility in there. And I'm not going to put these up against their flat. I'm actually going to have them up a little bit, so probably like right down the center. As you can see where my marks are. And yeah, I'm going to drill that and I'll be right back. So if you have problems with it sliding back and forth, I'm going to use this Dremel tool and go in here and clean this edge up a little bit. Try that. But to get that hole reamed out enough, it should go up and down through there. This is a pretty rough, pretty coarse thread, so anything will catch on it. So that would be to whichever all thread you decide to use. So this is completely your preference. I just took a couple scraps of leather that I have. I'm going to let these two float, and I'll use them to clamp around the blade. But I'm going to clean these up, clean this up a little bit, and I'm going to glue these in. So that way when I put the blade in, the knife in that I'm wanting to work on, I mean, you don't want to tear up your blade for sure, but you definitely don't want to tear up, especially if you're working with Antler or whatever. That should have a nut on it already. Anyways, that'll be boom like that. I don't need this long of bolts. I don't know how long of bolts I'm going to put in there yet. So this way I can clamp this leather down and not tear up my blade, and then use this leather that's going to be on here will help hold that from scooting around, and it'll also give it protection when I compress that up in there with the glue and everything. So I got it sitting in here. This is nice and loose. So I want to see if I got this tightened down pretty good. Not extremely tight. Enough to hold it. It's pressing that leather down pretty good. So one thing I will do with this is I'm going to get wing nuts for this. I think it'll go a lot easier. So I'll turn this side and then this side. Try and keep it as even as possible. Trying to keep this on here so you can kind of see. Oh, I can see it compressing that handle right up in there. But I think wing nuts would help. Oh yeah, that's tight. I think wing nuts would help. Yeah, and it's even in the right spot. I think wing nuts would help you keep from over torquing it. I see it pushing down on the leather a little bit, but I mean, yeah, my green fingers messing with things when it's wet, when it was wet earlier. You can see how the leather sits on the blade. So there's no metal contact with either the handle or the blade. The little bend we put in there fits in there perfect. Now I could have made it just flat and had it go right through here, but I didn't want this interfering with this seating, because the last thing you want to do is tap that knife and have that rattle of that brass. That'd be horrible. So I think this tool is done. It is definitely what I'm going to use, because in the past I've put my glue, this one I've got pinned, in the past I've put my glue in and sit here and held it down until I knew the glue was set, and that's just a pain. This, I can glue it, set it aside, and move on to other things I have to do. So, hope you enjoy this. I think it's going to be a really good deal for the shop. We only do about 10 or 12 hidden tangs, or even less on the Antler, but yeah, when we do them, it's nice to have a tool that we can rely on, and I think this is it. Simple to make, and yeah, it's going to do real good for us. Plenty of room for, this is a pretty long handle, so yeah, I'm happy with it. All right, man, I hope you guys like this video, and we're always making stuff, so stay tuned. God bless.